What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are enjoying your holiday weekend if you are here in the US. Today, we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is beginning to break resistance today, seeing the highest prices since the beginning of May. And why is that? Well, everybody is now breathing a sigh of relief after Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy reach an agreement on the US debt ceiling. Kevin McCarthy said that he was on the phone with Biden and they finally reached an agreement. And this was posted on May 27th yesterday, which is a potential reason why the prices are starting to move back to the upside. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin. And what's interesting is that we do have now a confirmed bullish crossover on the daily MACD. This could be our first real signal that we may be getting ready for upside continuation. And when I say upside continuation, I mean the continuation of the uptrend that we have had since the beginning of the year. If you're looking at the big picture here, the trend is still our friend. If you guys follow me on Twitter, we have been keeping close track of this signal. We had some bullish divergence on the MACD histogram, and we had a potential crossover looming. And over the past week, I saw a lot of people starting to flip bearish, and the market is now pumping against expectations. And what Dan Crypto Trades shared on Twitter today was that BTC is showing some large short squeezes right now, especially on Bybit. Well over 120 million of shorts squeezed out over the past hour. You know, as the price was stagnating, people were definitely starting to get a lot more skeptical as we tested these lows multiple times. People thought we were going to see some sort of waterfall down, but the price did in fact hold. And this news today is definitely helping create some bullish sentiment. People are probably expecting the stock market to rally when it opens this week. These daily MACD crossovers can sometimes be just the beginning of a much larger move. We saw this earlier in March with a 45% pump coming right after our daily MACD cross up. And earlier this year, when we crossed up, we went from about 16,000 to over 20,000, 23, 24,000. So these daily MACD bullish crossovers have yielded some pretty big moves this year. And we are getting the next one right now. Of course, the question is, how far can this crossover take us this time? Well, I want to bring you guys back to the thing we've been discussing all year long, which is the Parabolic Curve cheat sheet. Bitcoin's price is still following this to a T. We are now finalizing base 3. We've had base 1, we've had base 2, and now we're in base 3. And base 3 is nearing completion here, right on the edge of the Parabolic Curve. We do have to bounce here in order to maintain a Parabolic Curve. And what is a Parabolic Curve? All it means is that your trend line is becoming exponentially steeper, right? Our linear trend line, we actually didn't even reach that yet. If we had come down to test this zone here, about 24,000 or so, that would have meant that the parabolic curve is no longer in play, but we still have an exponential higher low here, and that is allowing us to maintain the parabolic curve. And what this diagram is suggesting is that the next move would actually land us upwards of 48,000 at base 4. And of course, a lot of people think that that kind of a move is just crazy, right? Oh, Kevin really thinks it's going to go that high. Well, in a parabolic curve, it doesn't really become an obvious parabola until that steep vertical part. A lot of people still disagree with me that it's a parabola, but again, we have the exponential higher low right here. And if we do see a breakout up and we get a steeper move, that's going to make the parabola look very obvious. And that's where people get over exuberant. And this is the danger zone right here at about 48,000. That's my target for the parabola. I don't really care too much about how high it may go. The general meat of the move is likely to land us at about 48,000. And that's usually how parabolas catch people off guard. It doesn't look like a parabola until that final steep zone where this cheat sheet is saying the price doubles from this point. Doesn't have to. I'm looking for about 48,000, though a double from here would send us to 60,000, which I guess is possible. Some people have been talking about possible major megaphone pattern, which is interesting because if that did play out, something like this, that would mean that Bitcoin would actually create a higher high, a slightly higher high at about 80,000 or so. we would hit 48,000 and then go for the, a major move to the top zone, and just create a slightly higher high before dumping, which would definitely be something that throws people off guard, would be very unexpected, which is usually the most likely thing to happen. So I'm keeping my mind open to this possibility. I've seen people talk about it on Twitter, but for now, what I'm really just focused on is getting this next major breakout and a move towards 48,000, and we'll see if we maintain these levels or if we get a breakdown of the parabola. If we get a breakdown of that parabolic trend line, I would call it the end of the trend right there, right? The trend is your friend until the end. If we break the parabolic trend line here, that would probably be the end for me. I'd be looking to take partial profits, reaccumulate lower. If we break down sooner rather than later, then I would call it the end of the trend there as well, right? The breakdown of these parabolas is not something to mess around with. Whenever we break down out of a parabola for Bitcoin, almost every time it results in a major bearish trend. So I'm looking for at least one more move up before we break the parabolic trend line. A move like that would be a huge opportunity, guys. We would probably, heading up towards 40,000, 48,000. I mean, that's, 50% up, 70% up. That's a pretty good opportunity. And of course, it always sounds crazy until it happens. And what would something like that look like? Well, I posted an image that I basically photoshopped of what I think is actually possible, that a lot of people will be thrown off guard by a move like that, where the price would end up just punching towards 40 within one weekly candle. Something along these lines, I think, is what people definitely are not expecting. And I think that this is actually the most likely scenario right now. And that is the time to be a little cautious, though, of course, because if we do punch up, there's going to be a lot of people on the sidelines probably starting to FOMO in. And then at that point, we'd be getting very close to the end of the trend, right? That is the time to actually be looking for profits, being cautious before the trend breaks down. When everyone gets bullish, when everyone gets over exuberant at these higher levels, be very cautious. But that's it, guys. I haven't done a video in like 10 days. So just wanted to hop on here. Hope you guys are enjoying the holiday, and I'll see you guys in the next video.